I'll probably be asked many times throughout this campaign, Russell, what makes you the best qualified person to be elected? The real answer is, unless you spent a lot of time with me or any of us, you really couldn't formulate an answer to that question that you felt really great about. But I will tell you from the heart what, in my opinion, makes me the best candidate. Professionally, I've had a long career dealing with very complex legal issues, not only in the 21st Judicial District, but across this entire state. My practice started out here in the 21st Judicial District, Livingston, Tangipahoa, St. Helena. We worked in the Baton Rouge area, and then it grew and it expanded. And I've practiced law from Shreveport all the way down to Houma. A lot of complex litigation, and I've had a lot of success with it. I'm very ready to bring that home and dedicate 100% of my time and energy to my community. I've been entrusted to teach other lawyers. Other lawyers, all lawyers for that matter, are required to have continuing legal education. And I've been invited by the bar and other professional associations to be an instructor, to teach on not only subject matters that are pertinent in the law, but also on professionalism and ethics, something that's very near and dear to me. Just this month, I'm being invited over to the LSU Law Center again, like I am every year, to be a panelist for the incoming freshmen, to discuss with them professionalism and ethics in our practice, why it's important and what it means. One of the things I am most proud of is historically I have had a history of judges inviting me to come and sit in small claims court and to be an arbitrator over those cases. A role and a function that performs exactly the way a judge does. I've sat on the bench. I've worn the robe. I have sat across and looked at both sides of the table. Two different parties with opposing views, seeking relief from me. I've ruled on evidence. I've considered that evidence. I've listened carefully to testimony, and I've had to weigh the credibility of those individuals that gave testimony. After all was said and done, I had to determine what facts would apply. And then I would review the pleadings, make a decision, know what law would govern, and come up with a firm, final decision that would bring peace to that matter. From a personal standpoint, I'm a family man. I'm married, I have adult children, I have grandchildren, and I have 3 children at home, ages 13, 12, and 11. My family is much like yours. We love the same things, we take care of one another, we have the same goals, and we strive for the same happiness. My father's a retired pastor. He's also a retired federal agent with immigration and naturalization. My mother's a strong Christian woman who I love dearly. Nothing's more important to me than her hugs and hearing that she's proud of me. I remember as a little boy driving to Sunday school with my mom at the front wheel of that bus that was converted over to a Sunday school bus. Nothing's more important than my family. Nothing's more important than your family. I'm a veteran. I'm very proud of the time that I wore our country's uniform. And I come from a long line of men in my family who have done the same. We have men in my family who have been in the Navy, the Marines, the Army, Air Force. It's a proud heritage we have of giving. I've been a youth counselor with the National Guard Youth Challenge program. It's an important program, and our youth are very important. I've sat down with young people, I've listened to them, and I know what they're going through. And while we're fortunate to have a family court and a juvenile division in the 21st Judicial District, I think it is ever so important to have an understanding of where our young people are, because there are issues in these courts that will overlap. And we're not just living on an island as a general jurisdiction judge and the family court on their own island. We're all part of the same landmass. I've been a counselor, a grief counselor to parents who have lost children. As many of you know, I've had that same loss in my life. I've been a youth sports coach. These are all things that I've embraced, and I look forward to bringing my time, my energy, my skills, and everything that God has blessed me with back and putting it 100% into our community. But I want to focus your attention back on the original question. What makes me the best qualified candidate? Everything I've told you up to this point has just been what I've done in my career. Any of the candidates in this election could trade places with one another and very likely have success in their careers. That doesn't make us special. Honestly, to answer the question, I want you to forget about everything I've just told you. What is going to make me the next really good judge is I have a passion for people. I have a passion for you, where you are in your life, where you've been in your life. I genuinely want to know what makes you you. Folks, I've been well off and I've been dirt poor. I've needed helping hands before and I've given them back. I'm probably the happiest now I've ever been in my life, and I've had times where I just didn't know how I was going to get up the next morning. I know you've been there as well. How in the world can a judge sit and adjudicate the most important matters in your life without wanting to reach out and understand where you are in your life? Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean sympathy, but it means understanding. It means that sometimes compassion can come into justice. They're not mutually exclusive. And folks, I will tell you right now that it is those attributes that will make me the next really good judge. The tools can make a judge. But if you don't think that I will be a really good judge, then I encourage you to look at the other candidates and decide if you think they will. And if you think one of them will be a really good judge, then you should vote for them, because you deserve nothing less. Our community deserves nothing less. We're the most dynamic community in this state. We're building. Families are coming in here. This is where people are choosing for their children to call home. I will give you my very best. That's all I've ever known how to do. And that is why I'm qualified to be the next really good judge in the 21st Judicial District.